How's it going, everyone? Yeah, today I just want to talk about how narcissists are like toxic robots. Narcissists are like toxic robots because they come into your life, they give you this illusion, that they're human. I mean, they look human, they may act human, but they give you this illusion that they've got empathy, or that they've got warm empathy, and that they can connect to you like other human beings. That they can resonate with you and connect with you on an intimate level, that they've got compassion and and love, and that they can understand you, and that they've got positive emotions. So they just sell you this illusion, and they just want to put you under this spell. It's like entice you. Because what they do is they study, or they mimic empathetic human beings or empathic human beings, and they study body language, gestures, things that everyday people do, everyday normative people do, and they just copy everything, and they just adapt it into the way that they convey themselves. They use it, they just weaponize everything. So like our empathy against us, it's like our warm empathy against us. And they pretend that they've got all these things. They pretend that they can love. They pretend that they can connect with us and empathize with us. That they do understand our emotions and things like that. And it's all false. It's all fake from them. But they're like experts, pulling the wool over your eyes and making you think they are, because they've been pretending all their life. They live in a fantasy, and they just looking to like entice you and bring you into this shared fantasy and just trap you in there. So they give you the illusion, bring you into this fantasy world by entrainment. So they synchronize your brain waves with their brain waves. And so they put you under this hypnotic trance. They put you into a trance-like state. And so your brainwaves synchronize together, and you become like a hive mind. You become like one mind. And so you put under this spell, and you put under this spell by them just repeating. It's like the repetition of words, repetition of quotes, or repetition of sounds is entrainment. So they're repeating this abuse, repeating these words. It could be any words, but they're just repeating this, over and over and over. And it's through this repetition that your brainwaves synchronize. It's like the victim's brainwaves synchronize with the abuser's. And so you go under this hypnotic spell, like a trance. And yeah, they'll project. So it's through the projections, through that repetition, projecting their abuse onto you. You know, projecting everything that they hate about themselves onto their victim, onto their target. And then you start to identify with what they're projecting onto you, this toxicity that they disown, that they're ashamed of. And then when you accept that, when you start to identify with that, then not only are you going deeper down into the rabbit hole of confusion and manipulation and deception, everything that they're projecting onto you, but you start to accept these things or conform. You start to conform to the shared fantasy. Like, you start to conform to living in that way, thinking in that way, believing in the lies, conforming to their lie. And so you get more and more put under the trance. But then when you take on these things, take on these traits and this toxicity that they're projecting onto you, then you identify with it, and then the narcissist then turns around and starts to blame you for it, because they see everything that they hate about themselves, everything that they're trying to reject, and everything they're ashamed of and they resent. They start to see those traits in you, and that's when they start to devalue you and start running you down, belittling you and manipulating. And so you become more and more deeper into the illusion. You start to blame yourself, you start to look at yourself and you start to think it's something that you've done wrong. So they've got you on this hamster wheel of trying to fix the situation, and you might be in that savior mode where you're thinking you want to do anything you can to save this person, to help this person, to help them see what they're doing is, not the right way to go. Like, you want to fix them. You can see, insecurities or vulnerabilities that they may have, and you're trying to fix that. You're trying to rectify it or help the situation, but they use all these sort of things against us, like our empathy, our warm empathy against us. It's like they see our insecurities, they see our vulnerabilities, they see us trying to help them, trying to fix a situation. And it's like they know that they can't be fixed, but they want to have you on that hamster wheel of doing all these duties, along with playing the victim and pointing the finger, shifting the blame, and giving you an impression that that they can be fixed, that this whole situation can be rectified, along with, or can be better and everything like that. That there is this magical future in the, they'll future fake you and give you this impression that there is this future with them and everything. But they just have you on the hamster wheel chasing after it and just dangling the carrot. Meanwhile, they're conditioning you. It's like reward and punishment. It's like, they give you, the idea that, if you do the right thing by them and you make them happy, if you do such and such for me, it all turns out right, and you conform to this, and you make me happy, and you provide this, this, and this, and this, then I'll give you the reward. You know, it's like you'll get the carrot. You know, you'll be rewarded. But it's like if you go the other way and you go against what the narcissist wants, and you don't conform, then it's the punishment. It's like they'll take away things. You know, they'll give you the silent treatment. They'll, you know, project more. They'll just punish you in any way they can. And all the while you're dissociating more and more. You're like, because they're doing things like giving you hot and cold, push and pull, the pleasure and the punishment. And so you just become more confused. You get hurt because obviously we've got the empathy, we've got that warm empathy, so we can connect to others, and we're trying to connect to this person that's just a complete void. It's just, you know, they're just completely hollow. You know, they've got insatiable needs that can never be fulfilled. It's like, they're like, do this, this and this to make me satisfied, to satisfy me, but you do that and then there's something else and there's something else. So they're constantly like sending you on this hamster wheel, on this endless quest to satisfy them, but it's never good enough. And then you look at yourself, you think, oh, why isn't this good enough? What's going on? And you're just always pointing looking at yourself. Because we've got empathy and we can, we've got love and everything, but they don't have any of this. So, it's like they're like robots, they're like robots full of all this toxicity within them, and they're just, it's like they're just looking to enslave people and have them tricked and trapped and manipulated and brainwashed and like confused, trying to understand things when none of it really makes sense because it's just all insanity. So you're just spiraling around. You're feeling hurt and everything because you can't understand any of it. And still you're trying to work it out. You're trying to work it out with your partner. You're trying to, but like they can't understand you. It's just like, let's talk about this thing. Let's sit down and talk about this thing. But there's no like emotional component there. There's like no emotional resonance with them. And so that just makes you feel even more frustrated. And it's just blame shifting, guilt tripping, just constant manipulation, and you're just wondering why, like, you just can't understand. You just want to be understood. You want to be able to connect like that, but they just don't. They don't have that. They don't have that warm empathy, so they're not able to connect with us like that. You're trying to work it out. And all the time they're just leeching off you, stealing your time, your energy, your money, your resources. They're just parasites leeching off you, stealing everything off you. And you just get sicker and sicker and you start to dissociate. You get all these like stomach troubles and, anxiety. You're filled with fear and confusion and doubt. You just, And it's because, like, these people, they don't have an identity. They don't have a personality. It's like they've just gone through their lives just mimicking people, just copying people, like stealing their facial expressions, you know, adapting everything to themselves, like just taking, you know, taking parts away from people, like, and just, yeah, just stealing traits from people, using that to, like, manipulate other people in their lives. So you're thinking, oh, this person's got a personality, this person's got, you know, an identity, it's got love, can resonate, everything can connect and all that. And it's like, there's like no one, there's no one there. There's no one home. Lights on, no one's home. Because when you try and, you might have discovered, like, when you're sitting down with them and you're trying to have an in-depth conversation with them, it's like they'll just make up excuses why they, you know, they can't have a conversation with you, or they'll start to, like, they'll V-line the conversation into something else. It's like they divert the conversation and say, oh, you know, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, or we'll talk about this tomorrow, or just completely change topic. And you're like, and then you put it off and you put it off and you put it off, and you know, but you know, inside, you know, that alarm bells are ringing. You're thinking, hang on, you know, you might think, like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 things were okay, but there was just that one thing that was off. It's like something is ringing alarm bells inside you, telling you that something's wrong. That's why we have to listen to our intuition, and when those alarm bells do go off, and yeah, and like, write things down. Because, I mean, these people, you know, write things down because these people confabulate, like narcissists confabulate, and they have all these breaks in their memory and stuff like that. So, you know, they don't remember a lot of things. They remember, like, out of 100%, they remember like 20%. So they have all these missing gaps and things in their memory. So they live in a fantasy, so they can completely just, all the time, they're just confabulating, they're just making up the missing pieces in their mind. And so it's no wonder, like, you know, we feel like we're feeling this way. We're like all cut up and hurt and confused and damaged, and, you know, like, and disorientated and things like that, because these people are living in a fantasy, and like we're trying to live in this fantasy, but because we're normative people, we think on that normal, like in that normal way. It's like two polar opposites. It's two minds that are thinking like two different ways, but they can't have us thinking in this normal way. You know, it's like anything to them, you know, reality, the truth, the light, things like that, they've got to get away from that, or they've got to make you submit. They've got to make you conform to the fantasy. Because you notice, like, as soon as you start bringing up reality and starts, you know, talking about the truth, that's when they feel threatened. That's when they feel, you know, it's like you're pointing out the truth to them, and they start to see they aren't this perfect person, this grandiose person, this person that doesn't have, you know, mistakes, or, you know, someone that, yeah, doesn't make mistakes and is perfect and everything. When you start to bring the truth to them, they have to run away. They have to give you the silent treatment, or you know, they really start to devalue you, and they want to, you know, they want to, you know, set up some other supply so they can make some kind of smooth transition from the current supply to the next supply. But it doesn't matter, you know, like how many supplies they have, or have, you know, whoever they, you know, start to manipulate and gaslight or confabulate and, you know, destroy and so on like that. It's like they've got this introject in their mind, they've got this avatar of us because they take this snapshot of us in the beginning, and it just, the snapshot, that avatar just remains in their mind. So even when they discard us, it just like it gets shelved. It's like the avatar gets shelved. It like it goes into hibernation type thing, like, and you know, that's why they hoover. They come back and so on. But another reason why they, you know, they do the discard is that they, you know, they're forgetting and then they're remembering. It's like they've got this avatar in their mind that they've taken this snapshot of us, and they interact with that snapshot. They don't even interact with us externally. It's like they just interact with this avatar. So it just remains in their mind. But when we start to divert from the avatar, because it's like this idealized avatar, it's like this perfect idealized avatar of us, and when we start to divert from that, it's like we start to separate, and that's when we, you know, when we start to act like, when we start to do our own thing that's, you know, separate from the narcissist, that's when they're forced to see that, you know, we're individuals, we're doing our own thing, and that threatens them because they just want to bring us more. They want to conform us to the fantasy. They want to keep us in the fantasy and just like, yeah, just keep us there, and just like, it's like safety for them. It's like they feel more safe when we're in that fantasy, when we're conformed to it fully. But when we start to do our own thing, like, oh, I'm going to go off and see my friend, or I'm going to go off to see my dad, or go to a party, or do something on your own, is that's when they feel threatened, because it's like they're forced to remember that you're a separate person. So they feel threatened by that. And it's like when you come back, it's like you're conforming again. It's like you're becoming, you know, it's like you come back into the shared fantasy. But like they've got this forgetting, remembering, and they just get tired by that. So they, you know, just imagine like continually like remembering, forgetting, like a person. And then they just get so tired that they're just like, you know, they've only got the option, or they feel that they've only got the option to get rid of you, discard you. But yeah, they're like CGI actors, like virtual actors. It's like they're in this virtual reality. They want to bring you into, you know, this false reality. And they just want power and control, you know, they've got the insatiable need for power and control. But they don't do positive emotions. You know, the shame-based people, they're just looking to project all their toxicity onto you and have you identify with it. And it's like, once you identify with it, start to conform to this, they start to enslave you more and more. Just put you under the hypnotic trance and have you, like, you know, doubting yourself. You know, they give the pleasure and pain. They give you this false sense of security. But it's all an illusion. There's actually not even anyone there, because they've got the emotional maturity of like a 2-year-old. They never emotionally matured. You know, they might look like an adult, but no, they're not. Like, it's just all an illusion. No personality, no identity. And it's like they want to be us. It's like they want to transfer all the toxicity into us, but then they want to steal all the good qualities from us, you know, to give them this like temporary, you know, it's like this, you know, temporary fix, so that they get this narcissistic supply off us to give them this, like, to give them this high. But it's just like this fleeting thing. It's like, because they've got insatiable needs that can never be fulfilled. They've got this void inside that no matter how much you fill it up, no matter how much supply you give them, it just never satisfies them. But yeah, they want to keep you on that hamster wheel, just going around and around and around, thinking that you can save them, thinking that you can, you know, make them happy. But they can never be happy. They'll never be happy, never be satisfied. You know? But yeah, they're like robots, CGI actors. Like, it's like bring you into a simulation. Like, it's like they're like holograms. You know, and because they've got the cold empathy, they do have empathy, but it's cold empathy. So they can see people who are sad. They can see their partner, victim / target. They can see if they're sad, but they won't feel sad because they don't have that emotional resonance. You know, they don't have that component. So they use that cold empathy to, you know, because they're predators. And they just weaponize our love and our empathy against us. But anyway, just some thoughts. Just some things I wanted to share with you. Hope you're having an awesome day. Thanks to everyone out there. Thanks to all my subscribers, all my people. Thanks for all the feedback, all the awesome feedback. You know, just appreciate it. Yeah, all the, you know, the connections and so on like that. It's awesome. It's motivating. So yeah, I'm just gonna go cook up some dinner and yeah, get something cooking. Do a little bit more walking. And then yeah, do some chilling out, do some reading, do some writing, possibly some drawing. Just be creative. But yeah, Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll talk to you in another video very soon. Peace.